Hello and welcome back to Bella Luna Soapery. If you're new here, my name is Tanya and I run a bath and body business called Bella Luna Soapery, where I make clean ingredient bath, body, and home products scented with essential oils. And then I take you guys along with me just so you can see kind of my process and the different things that I make. So today we're going to be making our coffee house scrub. So this uses a whipped sugar scrub base, a whipped foaming bath base that I make myself, and then we add in sugar and coffee and some other goodies and turn it into like a whipped sugar scrub. And this one's going to have notes of coffee in it and vanilla in it, so it has a really nice scent as well, going along with its exfoliating and cleansing properties. So to get started, I'm going to take you back a day and we're going to make a batch of my foaming bath whip, and I'll kind of go over how I make that with you, and then we'll jump into today where we'll go ahead and make the coffee house scrub.
So now we're going to go ahead and make our foaming bath whip base. It's super simple. In our crock pot liner, we're adding distilled water, and then we're going to follow that up with some vegetable glycerin. And I will have the full recipe, all the measurements down below in the description box for you. Next, we're going to add in our surfactants. So we're going to put Cocamidopropyl Betaine in there. And this is great for getting those sudsy lather. So definitely wouldn't leave it out. And then our second surfactant that we're adding in is SCI Powder. Now this is one where you definitely want to wear a mask because it's just such fine particles that it can be irritating to your nose and your lungs if you breathe it in. Safe product, it's derived from coconuts, so it's not harmful to you other than the fact that it can be irritating if you breathe it in before it's incorporated into the product you're making. So definitely wear a mask. It's a more gentle surfactant than the Cocamidopropyl Betaine, but still nice to kind of have in there. Then the last ingredient that we're going to be adding into this phase is we're going to add in some Stearic Acid, and that kind of just helps everything stay together. It has some cleansing properties as well, which is great. And that's one of the things that is so nice about using the foaming bath whip base for your sugar scrubs, is you not only get the exfoliation and some moisturizing, but you also get cleansing. So, it's like a 3-hit kind of product. Now we're going to throw it in the crock pot on low and let it heat until it's in between 150 and like 170 degrees. It has to get that warm for the stearic acid and the SCI powder to fully melt down. So you definitely do want to take the temperature of the bath whip. That's probably like one of the most complicated parts of the process, is that you do have to actually be aware of what temperature you're heating it to. And I just took the temperature again because now that it had cooled off a little bit, I needed to see where we were at temperature-wise, because before we put our preservative in, which we're using Optiphen Plus, it does have to be below 176 degrees Fahrenheit, and we were plenty below that. We were at 148, so we knew it was safe to put the preservative in. And then I'm just going to give it a quick stir, and then I'm going to follow that up with using my hand mixer just to really make sure everything's incorporated together. And you'll notice that it starts to look like an actual product at that point. It still will have like kind of a gel looking consistency even after you blend it together. But that's just because it's still warm. As it cools, it will become more solid and more kind of what you're expecting a foaming bath whip base to look like. And that is basically all there is to it. So once everything's whipped together, I just let it cool off overnight, and then I put it in an airtight storage container. That way, anytime I want to whip up a batch of sugar scrubs, it's ready for me, which is super convenient and much better than trying to do it all in one go. And it's really better for the base to be cool when you make your sugar scrubs anyway. And now we're going to jump back to today, and I'm going to show you how to make my coffee house scrub.
All right, my friends, so into my stand mixer bowl here, we're going to add 8 ounces of our foaming bath whip. And this is what you saw me make up yesterday. So we're going to go ahead and get that in here. I like to make my own base just because I have more control of the ingredients that go into it. And it's way simpler than I thought it would be to actually make the base. It intimidated me for a long time, and I just bought the pre-made bases, but it really is pretty simple. Alright, and now that we got the base in there, we're going to go ahead and add in our sugar. And we are going to be using brown sugar for this scrub, so it'll give it a little less of exfoliation than like a larger granulated sugar, but still exfoliating, a little more gentle, really nice on the skin. And then for a little moisturizing action, we're going to add in some sweet almond oil, but you could use any lightweight carrier oil that you like. I like sweet almond oils or hemp in my sugar scrubs, along with some olive oil. And they'll add that nice moisturizing property without being overly greasy, which I feel like a lot of the store-bought sugar scrubs can be kind of greasy. That's why I like the foaming ones better. They just don't leave that kind of thick, heavy oil on your skin. Then our olive oil. That is good there. And then next, we're going to add in some coffee grounds for a little more exfoliation. And I do use used coffee grounds just because they don't bleed as bad once they've already been used, and I just let them dry out. It's right around 2 tablespoons that I used. And then for another kind of fragrance note, and instead of an actual essential oil, we're using a resin. This has been benzoin. Don't know if I'm pronouncing that right, but it is a resin. And you use about a half a teaspoon to a teaspoon per pound of your oils. And it adds like a nice vanilla-y kind of scent to whatever you're making. And it is, of course, thicker because it is a resin. It'll be have the consistency of like a honey. So you could heat it up to make it easier to get in there. I probably should have done that, but I didn't. But note to self to do next time. And then we're also going to add in some coffee seed oil. Coffee has a lot of great benefits for your skin, and plus the coffee seed oil is going to give it that nice coffee aroma mixed with the vanilla of the benzoin, and that's why I call it with coffee house, because just in between the benzoin, the brown sugar, and the coffee that's in here, it smells just like you're walking into your favorite little local coffee shop. And then the last thing we're going to be adding in for now is some vitamin E. Vitamin E is great for your skin. Lots of antioxidants in there, as well as it helps keep your oils from going rancid. Not a preservative. We will be adding a preservative to this as well, but I'm going to let it get mixed up a little bit, and then we'll add the preservative in. Alright, so I let that mix for just probably like 2 minutes just to get everything started working together. So now we're going to get the preservative added in, and then we'll let it whip for another like 4 to 6 minutes. Now the foaming bath whip base I make, it does have a preservative in it, but since we're adding additional things to it, like the sugar and the oils and things, we have to add additional preservative because what we put just in the foaming bath whip base wouldn't cover it. And I'm just using Optiphen Plus, so we're going to go ahead and get that in next. There we go. And then I'm gonna let this whip again, like I said, 4 to 6 minutes, and then we'll come back and start putting it in our containers. All right, so this is all nice and whipped together, and it smells amazing. You definitely get all those coffee vanilla notes from it. So super nice scent. And I love the color, and that's, you know, we're not adding any color to this. This is just from the brown sugar in the coffee. So makes a really nice color there. And we are going to pipe this. So, oops, sorry that was loud. I got a little reusable piping bag here, and we're just gonna load it up. Now, I haven't used these reusable bags before, but I thought it would be nice to give them a try, so I got a set off Amazon, and I think it was like $8 or $9, so not bad. It came with like 6 bags, 3 scrapers, and a whole bunch of piping tips, but the piping tips weren't very big. So, I don't know. We'll see how it works out and how hard it is to clean. I think that'll be the real contributing factor on whether I continue to do this or not, is how hard it is to clean. So we shall see. I am starting to get at least a little better with piping it in. I don't have as much waste from the last batch I made. So that was encouraging. The first 2 times I tried to pipe into my jars, it was some sort of hot mess. Like, I don't even know what happened. But yeah, it was definitely a semi-disaster, which, you know, I guess learning curve. We all have those. And here are the glass jars I'm using. I get about 3.5 ounces in these. When I run out of these and get my next jars, I would like to get a little bit bigger ones. So just got the bag here, I got my little tip in there, and yeah, and then we just squeeze it in. Give it a few smack downs along the way. And that is what she looks like. That's my hand shake horribly there. Super cute. And I just give it a few tap downs and we carry on. And here is how they all turned out. I did manage to get 5 jars, which is 1 more than I usually get because, like I said, I've gotten better with the piping, and I'm not making quite as horrible of a mess as I was previously making. So they're super cute. I usually let them sit overnight before I put the lids on because they do start to sink down, and then I don't squish as much of that pretty piping on top. I was trying to decide if I was going to sprinkle some of my coffee grounds that were left on there, but I don't know. I think it looks pretty without them. Maybe I'll do it on one and see what I think. I don't know. I don't think it really needs it. So I don't think I'm going to put it on any of the other ones, but yeah. Super happy with how this one turned out. My 3 kind of core sugar scrubs are Coffee House, which is this one, though I usually use a vanilla oleoresin instead of the benzone, but I wanted to try the benzone. And then I do a lavender and a peppermint. I've been thinking of adding in a citrus one, but I haven't done that yet. But yeah, I think they turned out great. They're super cute, smell amazing, and I know they're going to feel great on the skin. Because like I said, I've made them before, just not with the benzone, so pretty happy with how this turned out. So I hope you enjoyed today's video. Thanks again so much for being here, and I hope you got a little inspiration to go create something for yourself. Take care, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye.